Hello, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 296. Today is Sunday, November 24th, 2019, and I'm glad you could join me today. I have my hot tea, my crazy pants plan, and such is life. So, but before I get into the crazy pants plan, I'll just show you the thing. My crazy pants plan does not involve knitting right now, so I am still working on these socks for my grandpa. I am knitting them in the Woolmeister Twin in the Drachenblood colorway, and I'm knitting the pattern Jack, which is a Regina Sada pattern. So I put some time on these, and it never seems like I'm any closer to the toe. I know, I could measure, but I hold it up to the other sock, I'm like, nope, not so much. So, I don't know, it'd be the case where I've been spending a lot of my at-home time spinning instead of knitting, so these don't get taken out a whole lot, as you do. So hopefully I'll be able to get some good work on them in the coming week, because it will be a holiday, and knitting is a perfectly acceptable way of hanging out with people. So I'm definitely depleting my little ball. We could check and see how long it is. I think it needs to be 11 1/4 inches before I could start the toe. Or maybe not 11 1/4 inches. So, or does it need to be 11 1/4 total? So I'm currently at 9, which doesn't seem too crazy. So that probably means I have another 1/4 inch to go before I get to start the toe. The total length of these socks is a smidge more than 11 1/4. So depends on how you're looking. It's somewhere between 11 1/2 and 11 1/4. We could call it 3/8, but so I still have a bit more to go, but that was better than I expected. And if I hold heel to heel, it still seems like I have, I can see how I'm pretty close now. So that just means I'm a couple of more rows before the toe. So not too bad. That looks like something that should be finished before the next one. And then I will have to contact my grandpa and figure out where I'm mailing them, and if it would be, I also ended up getting yarn to knit a second pair as well. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? Hard to predict. So the other project, which has received a small amount of love as well, because spinning, is my V-neck boxy. So this is a Hui Locatelli pattern that I am knitting with 2 yarns held together, Shibui Pebble in the blueprint colorway and Shibui Silk Cloud in the Abyss color. So I will have to hold it very close for you to see. And of course the computer. The computer has become confused. Okay. I know that when I go into editing, that moment will be fine, but when it like freezes on me, I always get a little bit concerned. So that's pretty close. So let's take out the handy dandy tape measure again. And this ends up having all sorts of interesting fluff stick to it. So that front is 5.5. This front is 2.5. This one is also 5.5. So in order to, so I have 3 more inches to go on this front. In order to make that work out. And then I'll have to figure out whether or not it starts looking about right. Whatever. It hasn't gotten a ton of love this week. But this is another project that will also be going with me, so it shouldn't be too crazy. Like, it should be really nice. So right now I have sorry, my yarn somehow got cut up in the tape measure. So like, I'm debating whether or not I want to wind a pair of balls for this, or just accept the fact that it is what it is, and I can fill up any remaining time with spinning my travel project. It's looking like spinning my travel project will win, if it turns out that I run out. Like, because what I have right now is I have 3 balls of the black wound right now, and then I also have 3 balls of the blue. One of those balls is fairly depleted. The blue is less yardage than the black. I've already used up 1 ball of blue. I'm guessing I'll have some black leftovers, but who knows. I might have fixed that problem. By getting a backup skein of the blue. So, the only concern is if I start having something funny happening with the stitch counts. I have counted and verified I did have the right number of stitches on the right front, so I'm a little confused why the left front seemed to wrap up so quickly. And maybe that was just because I had that additional ridge in there, but I don't know, it's weird. I don't think I did like extra increases early. Or like missed decreases on this one. I don't know. Things seem to be lining up okay right now if I hold seam to seam. So I just have like that much more to go before I can join in the round. So I'm definitely liking the high-low hem plan, so I may knit the front to the suggested length in the pattern and then knit the back with lots and lots of short rows. If I do end up doing that plan, I'll have to figure out what's going to happen exactly. bring that back. Okay. I'm not sure why it's freezing. That's weird. So, like I do have a backup skein of gray pebble. Like little mohair problems. Basically a spot where it got tangled and then made like a little knot of fluff. So I'll have to check. I'll have to check and see what makes sense. But it would be the case where I have another skein that I could do all of the trim in an emergency. I don't know, not like that's too crazy. Like I think that would give it some good visual interest. Like have like the gray held with the black. Or something else. And then the tangle. So yarn management wise, this is fairly annoying. I kept the ball I wanted to work in the round with attached. And now this just feels a little bit like silliness. Of course I'm getting away on this and finding silliness. It was like I had missed a strand, so I had picked up the blue but not the black. Whatever, that's an easy thing to fix. So we shall see what ends up shaking out. Like, it is a lovely project so far. The alternative is that I bring everything I need in order to start a Joris, and that could be my backup project. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I may need to decide at some point, but whatever. And I'll just have to sit down and detangle this a little bit. So things are still somewhat up in the air, but such is life. I somehow managed to twist this, and maybe not. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's my knitting. So I did do, or what was it? I was out and then I came across a Hobby Lobby and decided to check and see if they had any cake decorating supplies, and they did. So I was able to replenish my stash of blue food coloring. So this was like it wasn't Wilton's, but it was sort of a drop gel style one. So similar, but a little bit easier to work with than Wilton's. Because I didn't need a tablespoon, I just dropped stuff in. So I tried shifting the color again. It's possible that I can't do any more to this. Because it's still bleeding some yellow, and now it's this yellow and maybe a little bit of excess blue has resulted in green runoff now. So this, when it was wet, looked black. It has an interesting smell right now. I don't know if that is like insufficient dawn removal or what. And I really, at this point, it just seems right to reskein this bad boy. But it is like a dark brown color. And there's even some spots in here that are, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's hard to see. There definitely are some spots that are even like red even in here, which I find to be surprising. I'm not sure why. or if that was a case where maybe that was the color it was before. Because I'm definitely noticing some more down the opposite end of the ties, so that's interesting. So maybe the case where I still have a little bit of almost like burgundy left in this, or something left over in the pot that I was rubbing the bottom of. I'm not sure. So it's not 100% solid, but it's close. Sorry, I'm just like fiddling. So as I sort of open it up a little bit, there are some spots in here that are more red, but I'm not sure whether or not it's going to come through on the camera. So I'm not entirely sure what I was expecting. I may restain this before I put it away. We'll see. It's definitely a woolly wool sort of item for sure, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with 12 ounces of worsted spun woolly wool, but whatever, it's something that was fiber that's now taking up way less space, so yeah. So, in terms of evil plans, well, I might have been getting a big evil plan, but I have been spinning away on my Ginny the Fleece project, and I now have 2 finished bobbins. I think for entertainment purposes, I'm going to not wind them off until I get 4 of these, which will be 8 ounces spun. But the acid green bobbin has 2 parts teal, 1 part blue. And the wood bobbin has 2 parts teal, 1 part purple. I'll bring it in close. I'll just bring it in super close. Hey! Yes! So, there is the 2 parts teal, 1 part blue. And I'm liking this one more in the studio lights. I was unimpressed under the indoor lights. But this is the... Bring it all the way in, maybe up. Sorry, this is not focusing for me. Holding still, bring my fingers in. Out. Then back in. I'm sure this is making all sorts of great noises too. All the way in. It's like not acknowledging. There we go. So this is the 2 parts teal, 1 part purple. So it's more subtle, there's far less contrast going on here, and as we all know, the purple does not come through. But that wasn't terrible. There's like the pink tone in it, so it'll be interesting to see. The next 2 that I'm spinning are going to be the 2 parts purple, 1 part teal, and 2 parts blue, 1 part teal. And then I'll probably save all of the same colors for the end. But I didn't end up putting that in. So I did have a very itsy bitsy bit of leftovers here that I have lost somewhere. It was somewhere sensible, and now I don't know where it is. Hid it for myself. And then I did have a slightly bigger thing of leftovers for this one. So I think what's interesting about this one is that, or sort of what that average color turns into, as opposed to if we put them head to head. Like, the overall impression ends up being fairly similar between these guys, so it'll be interesting to see how it shifts. I'm thinking the pattern I want to do is the Mesa sweater wrap. So I'll have the equivalent of 4.5 skeins of yarn. And the pattern calls for 3, so it is a one-size-fits-all sort of pattern. Basically like the hybrid between a sweater, a blanket, and a shawl. So it's, what would it be? A snuggie. It's got armholes. And the way that I would arrange the colors, I would have a solid where the armholes would end up being, I believe. And I'll have to figure out what color I actually want to have be the center color. I'll have to look at some projects. I didn't end up bringing my spindle project along. It was definitely a useful prop to have. There's a retired gentleman who enjoys having conversations with me at the Whole Foods. And so I was like, he had some knowledge of spinning, so it was a discussion. But it was like, no, my wheel is not a spindle. This is a spindle. And a distaff is not a spindle. Like, a distaff is like a fiber management system for spinning. So you wrap fiber around the distaff in order to keep it flowing nicely. My wheel is not an old style wheel, so it doesn't have a distaff mounting point. Oh, the more you know. I think it's most often used for like flax or something like that, but who knows. So I spaced out on talking about acquisitions last week, and it turned out that I had recorded without knowing that I had yarn mail there, so really all of this arrived between whatever, last week and what have you. So, the Dear Sweet Lovely One would like to have tessellation lizard hand warmers, and at some point during DFW Fiberfest, Fiber Optic was there, and I got a red and black to knit hand mitts with. But he wanted blue and black. So I decided that I would get the yarn that he wanted. So this is 4 ounces of the cashmere base, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% silk, which is super lovely, in this fan-freaking-tastic blue. So I believe that she calls it Kentucky blue, because when you're in a state next to Kentucky, you may as well have school colors. And this is Fiber Optic in Ribbon, and it is 4 ounces and 625 yards. So it is that hybrid light fingering, somewhere between fingering and lace weight sort of weight. So I was glad I finally got that taken care of. I decided not to put any other buddies in the cart, because normally I think of Kimber for her spinning fiber, not for her yarn, but her yarn is lovely too, so I don't know why. But very excellent blue. Any leftovers will become mine. Or maybe there's some sort of crazy thing that I can make with leftovers for myself with the black, red, and blue. I'm sure it'll look great. And this was, there were some darker blues, but I knew since I was combining with black that I wanted just a nice, I picked the lightest blue that wasn't pastel, because I didn't want pastel. I never want pastel. And then I ended up shopping Amy's birthday sale, so Restrained Dye Works. Like, stop watching the video, go up and go and buy something. So I have put together a what the fade in my mind, and so what I have here is her single fingering, and this one is Blue Rinse, Naive Watercolor, and Ice Skating Party. here. And then for the contrast color, here, make sure the computer doesn't black out on me, I got Patisserie, Orange Tabby, and Firecracker. So I've had Firecracker before. I still haven't spun that fiver yet, but details. And then, with their powers combined, I have a little rainbow. And so, basically what it boils down to was I got a pale blue, a greenish blue, and a purplish blue, as you do. And then these I thought would work together really nicely. Actually, I don't think I want to do something like this. I could wrangle all of the skates simultaneously. So, something like so, I think could be really, really nice, where I get like very strong contrast between everything. Color good. So that was, I was like, Christmas. So I will need to photograph and upload all of the different pretties to Ravelry. And What the Fate is an Andrea Mowry pattern. The tessellation hand mitts are called Maurice, and they're by Stephanie van der Linden. And really, they're socks, so I'm going to have to make some sort of some major modifications in order to make that work. I don't know if it's the case where I'm going to have to do, because the pattern itself I think has you doing 3. I don't have the socks here to actually figure out what's going on, but I'll have to do some big modifications because in order to make it work in a hand. And so I think my plan was to knit at a tighter gauge so there could be lots and lots of lizards. Because I don't think you wouldn't get the tessellation effect as well if it was, if there was like one on the front and one on the back. Like, you need like some interlocking going on. So, we'll see what happens there. So I should be able to record next week. As per usual, the Thanksgiving extravaganza involves me going home on Saturday. So technically speaking, there's I have a travel day for Wednesday and a travel day for Saturday, and then normal stuff for whatever festivities for Thursday and Friday. So that should be good. It'll be nice to have some time off. I am not very responsible for much of anything during this trip, which is fine. I think the thing I'm most responsible for is setting up knit night on Wednesday, which is fine. I should start the group text. So let's see. I'll have to figure out if there is an already existing group text with which to coordinate all of the people, because it's not like it's that crazy. There's like 4 total. It sounds like 3 of the 4 can definitely come, and I probably haven't invited the 4th, so as you do. So let's see. That should be good. Oh, I maybe didn't even start elaborating into my evil plan. So I sat down and I pulled out a spreadsheet and I put together a schedule for if I'm to finish my Jenny the Fleece spin by the 31st of December. So this is a part of my spin the bin, and so it's a part of my spin the bin, and I wasn't very specific on how much I ended up committing to that last entry. So this was a spin bin, and it counted for 6 for 6 months. And then my other skein, the 8 ounces that took forever because it turned out to be 1,500 yards, took 5 months to do. It was, I think it counted as, I don't even know, whatever. So those last couple of skeins would have been whatever waste I had spun up throughout the year, which now is trapped in a box somewhere. And then I have these 2 done. So in some ways I've sort of at least satisfied those requirements, but I would like to get done as much as possible because it's been a long project. Like, I bought the fleece in 2014. So, like, it's been a while. So, I put together a schedule where I basically gave myself 1 day per 20 grams. And then I realized that plying was also a significant portion of that time, so I ended up adding in days there. And then what I did was I sat down and figured out what days will I not be. Actually, I don't think I even accounted for all of those days that I will not be in Dallas. And it goes over. And then couple that in with the fact that I am 2 days behind because, like, the 20 grams is, like, that is several hours of continuous work. Like, plying, like, it's the case where I think plying was like 5 hours, we'll assume spinning 20 of these grams is like 5 hours, so it just adds up really fast. So, do I have any hope of succeeding? Probably not. Am I going to try to get through as much of the project as possible? Sure. Fiber, or would it be? So, fiber is light. It just takes up a lot of space. So we shall see. I still have quite a few bags left to go. So this represents 6 bags of my 27, and I still have to start the singles for today. So we'll see. So that may be like the entire rest of the day is working on that. Well, we shall see. So that's the story there. Oh well. But yeah, because I think I missed out on a couple of missing days. Yeah. Oh. Too many clicks. Yeah. No, it's not happening. Because I forgot to account for a few more days. And I'm not planning on taking my spinning wheel to my parents for Christmas, so. I guess I'm just so mystified at how much the purple brings out the blue. So we shall see how many more of these that I can get done. We'll probably take some fun pictures once I get 4 robins worth, and then pull off the skeins because that'll be interesting. and go from there. So I'll make it work. So shouldn't be too crazy. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.